Yeah, what I wanted to touch on was just cancel culture in general, because a lot of people have been getting canceled. I mean, some are somewhat deserving of it. Like some people are doing criminal acts and stuff like that, and I feel like they're deserving of it. But some people
Right.
just will say like something that's kind of like misinterpreted, and then they want to like destroy their whole career and deplatform them. And I feel like that's kind of wrong. I mean, obviously, like I feel like everybody knows like the problem with cancel culture at this point. I just wanted to say, I mean, my thoughts on that. Like, I feel like on people, everybody kind of jumping on him, wanting to cancel him, kind of like just having this bandwagon mentality. I get that, that hip hop and like black culture is like the mainstream thing right now, and everybody's trying to like be a part of that and everything. But I feel like a lot of people commenting on the culture and commenting on the situation on people that don't even listen to the baby, and people that don't even like hip hop in general. I feel like a lot of people that had a problem with the baby don't even listen to him, to begin with.
Right.
But this whole thing about making people apologize, and I've been thinking this for a very long time, but this whole thing about making people apologize by canceling them, you can't strong arm somebody into an apology.
Yeah, at that point, and I agree. At that point, it doesn't even really matter. Like I feel the same way with the baby. Like the baby, he probably only apologized because his stuff got canceled, and he didn't want to lose money.
Exactly.
I have very like mixed feelings about like cancel culture because half the time it feels like they're fighting the wrong fight, or like people are abusing cancel culture for the wrong reasons, and then like other times it feels like, okay, this person rightly deserved to like not be supported anymore. Like we shouldn't support this kind of behavior.
Yeah, like some people really do deserve it.
Yeah, like for example, if someone says something online like, 15, 20 years ago, do I think they deserve to have their whole career ruined? No, especially because 15, 20 years ago, the world was a different place.
5 years ago, the world was a different place.
Right. So it's not surprising to think that, like, okay, yes, while this person may have said something then, the world has changed significantly since that point, and it's very possible for that person themselves to have changed since they said this.
Hmm.
I feel like it's kind of like when you serve your time for like a crime or something, like should that crime always constantly haunt someone like 50 years past? Maybe, depending on the significance of the crime, but like if you go to jail for like theft, right? You do your time and you serve your sentence or whatever. Should you still be like harassed and prosecuted about that incident, 20 years later? Like, nah, you did your time. You don't do that stuff anymore. You're a better person. You buy all your stuff, right? Like that person shouldn't have to worry about that stuff anymore. And I feel like it's the same in this situation. But then if it's somebody who's actively doing something to hurt someone now, and it's like just very unforgiving toxic behavior, or someone's like harming someone in some way, like they are a predator of some sort or a rapist or whatever the case may be, harassment, whatever, then I'm like, okay, yeah, we should get that word out there. People need to know this.
Yeah, I've seen situations like that, like the whole Chrissy Teigen situation. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
like a whole coda accusations going on right now.
yeah, people like that. And I just have a problem, like, yeah, just trying to make people apologize and make them feel bad. It's like they don't care, they don't care. And I feel like we just need to accept that and move on. I mean, if you don't want to accept, if you don't want to like, support a person after they do something that you may not agree with, you don't want to support them. And, I feel like you're free to do so. But for everybody to kind of bandwagon them and try to get them off of a platform, or knock them off, whatever they're doing, and try to like, mess up their hustle and destroy their career, I'm like, that's kind of extreme, pretty extreme. I feel like that's never okay. I mean, depending on the situation, obviously. But if it's just people saying something you don't agree with, I feel like even in this situation, obviously, as I was saying before, I wasn't seriously offended by anything the baby said. But I feel like even if I was, I wouldn't really care. I would still bump his music. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care what the artist has to say. Separate art from the artist. I can still like content. Even if it's by somebody who may not be the best person. I never really thought like the baby was like a super upstanding guy or anything like that to begin with.
Right, right. And we've talked about this. Like, I I feel like, especially when it comes to like rap music, if you pick and choose what kind of artists you listen to based off of what kind of person they are, none of us would really listen to a lot of rap music because not that many of them turn out to be good people. So a lot of them, say they're gang affiliated, they kill people, they rob people, stuff like that. So considering that we wouldn't actually watch a lot, or we actually wouldn't listen to a lot of rap if that were the case. But then I also feel like there's some crimes that are, that kind of cross the line. Like again, like predator, sexual, aggressive predator type behavior can't. Like I feel like there are some like behaviors that we absolutely just like shouldn't just accept as the norm. Like again, predator behavior, like aggressive sexual acts, like things like that. Like can't probably not gonna listen to your music if you do that. And that's just my personal line. Everyone can have their own line. Maybe the things the baby said are crossing some people's line. Granted, I'll admit I'm not a like HIV positive or AIDS positive um person or homosexual person, so I can't for personally relate to like the things he said or feel personally attacked by the things he said. But maybe if the baby had said something else that I could personally feel attacked by, then maybe my line would have been crossed. So, just trying to see it from their perspective. Maybe he did cross some people's lines when he said those things.
Yeah, but and also I would say, I mean, I'm sure the baby has some gay fans and stuff like that, but I don't think any of these fans really care. I think the only people that really mad at him are people who, like I said, weren't really fans of dude to begin with, and probably are kind of just like outside the culture. If you get what I mean.
Right. But I also feel that like at the same time, like other artists to so strongly like push against him kind of shows that they want the industry to go in a different direction, and it's not that. So I can respect that that's not the image that they want to get off. Because like I'll be fair, if I were like another famous artist in in that position, I don't think I'd support the baby's actions in this situation. I would feel he what's happening now is probably what he deserves for saying what he said, because that's not the image I would want to give off myself personally. I would hold everyone else to that standard.
Yeah, that's true, and I hope yeah, we can get to a place where especially in hip hop, where I mean, I'm not gonna say what he said was homophobic, but I hope we can get to a place where things are less homophobic in hip hop
Right.
on people who are different. We could let like kind of like outsiders into the culture and stuff like that.
Right.
And just kind of just be cool to everybody.
And honestly, that's low key the goal. Like when it comes to most of this like things that cause like hate, like honestly, like racism, like sexuality, gender, like all of that. I would like to be I could honestly would like to say I could say we were all at the point to where we're comfortable enough joking about it and no one just genuinely feels any hate towards it anymore.
Yeah, yeah, word.
All I would just say is like for any potential, future VIP or current VIP people who might come across this one day, just watch what you say, be careful what you say because words have power and it can affect you and hurt you. It can affect you and your money, and it can also hurt people who may support you. No, you don't want nobody who supports you to feel bad for like, supporting you. You don't want anyone to regret like supporting you because of, beliefs you may have or things you may.
Or things that you could say that can make you look a certain way, or it could be easily misinterpreted.
Right. And then on the other end, let's all just kind of be a little bit more tolerant and patient with each other. That's something I feel like the world's kind of just lacking a lot right now. It's just tolerance. Maybe not everyone has the same beliefs, and maybe some people just don't know any better. Like the baby really just says he felt he was misinformed, and maybe he really was. Maybe he really thought that like, that's just how like this stuff worked. Instead of being on the first thing to do is like, oh, you're a bad person in these situations, and just try to cancel the whole career. Let's just be more tolerant and just so hey, that's not that's not quite true. What you said wasn't quite the truth, but here let me talk to you about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Do you really think he was misinformed though?
I feel like some of it, yes. I feel like he probably thought like the AIDS thing was probably real. He probably thought like maybe he probably was exaggerating. He probably didn't think like, oh, you'll die in 2 to 3 weeks with AIDS, but he probably thought like, AIDS wasn't as big a deal as, or you die as quickly as some used to believe you did. Like he probably thought like, oh, if you get HIV, you've got like a 5 year lifespan at best, probably, or something like that.
That's funny.
I could totally, yeah, I could totally see him saying something like that. But